Welcome, watchers. Unfortunately, this episode will be episode 13 tonight, but we are missing a player. Nathan had a birthday yesterday, and we suspect that he's continuing his partying till today. At least we hope so. And no drastic snowstorm of doom that has shut all his power down, like many people are experiencing during this lovely time of the year. So, where we had left off at, basically our party defeated the second in command of the Rat Lords, the task that was given to them by BDT, also known as Big Daddy Tick, and they were successful, shockingly enough. Barely got out of it by the seat of their pants, but they survived, and they had set up a deal with the third in command, where they were going to try to strike a deal with them or whatever. And so now we're kind of going to be backtracking. One reason why we're not going to run tonight, because I kind of want Nathan there to experience that entire ordeal, because who knows what's going to happen, and have a party member missing out of 4 players is kind of difficult, especially when it comes to crucial situations, this, that, and the other. Instead, I gave him something awesome last game session. They went from level 5 to level 6 now, which means I am not going to kill off his character, Finatellis. But yes, we are going to do some leveling up and talk about the game system and the setting and anything else we'd like to talk about. And if y'all have any questions whatsoever, please let us know as far as the game system and the setting. Anything come up with characters or, the actual, world setting itself, this, that, and the other. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump to our players. Say hi, players.
Hi, players.
Hi, players.
So I guess let's we've been gone for so long due to illnesses. Hi, I'm the cause of all of that, as well as holidays and this, that, and the other. We thank you, Penatellis, for giving me advantage. I will use that advantage to hopefully be able to run more games with. So yes, but anyway. Let's start out with my partner in disguise, my co-creator of this game system / world setting, Bill, aka Quinn. You want to go ahead and just kind of, we can go over, the overall character, the concept, which direction we're going with him, and now that he's went from the little peon that he was to, now this holy shit, I could be a crime boss. So.
Right?
Only if he marries into the family.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Only if he marries into the family.
So I'm playing Quinn. He is an elf. He is a member of a big corporation. He works as an agent to various stars and mainly athletes and such. And that's kind of how he got into all this. One of our mutual friends was a racer, and Quinn was the manager, and these guys were part of the crew. And since then, we've kind of stumbled into thing after thing after thing. So that was kind of his way. He's very charismatic. In our system, it's called social. He's got a high social score. He's got an ability to talk his way in and out of things. I am playing him as a fighter, basically a warrior in our system. And the idea of this is one of the specializations in warrior that we had created was called leadership. And they can basically use their social ability to give out orders or benefits to their team. So that's kind of where he started. He's going down that route. He's picked up a little bit extra experience fighting, continued in the fighter or the warrior class essentially for a while. And now we're going to be in level 6, so I'm going to take my first actual out-of-class specialization. How our system works is every level you get a specialization point. Every like 3 levels you get a versatile specialization point, which allows you to basically make another class's one of their specializations a class specialization. So now I'm going to pick up some entertainer points here to be even better at being a talker as I go down the fast talker tree. If you look at it as like a, MMORPG style, like tree scale system where you pick this, which allows you to pick the next one sort of thing. Gearing mainly for ranged combat and just being able to talk to people and work his way out there. I gained powers, so we don't use magic. We use essentially like kind of superpower type things, an arcane kind of manifestation of powers that happens at random amongst individuals in the city. And so I recently picked up my 2nd level in powers, just being let's see, I've got telepathy, so I can read thoughts and do a little bit of like psychic damage type things with that. And I have a flying ability, so he can fly around and do that sort of things. And at 2nd level with powers, you get to choose two universal specializations to add to your like pool of abilities you can spend your power points on. So I picked up the blast, an ability to kind of do an AoE effect with one of my powers, and effective, which just makes my power save. I can spend power points to make my power save even better, so it's harder for people to resist my charm as far as that goes.
So to give a little reference, not so much a reference, more like a visual. I have just uploaded our character sheet to Albert Radio. So hopefully this will work. Yeah, hey, there it is.
There you go.
I gotta readjust it.
Sort of. Yeah.
But yeah, so that way y'all can get to see exactly what Bill and everybody else is talking about when they talk about this, that, and the other.
Yeah. So that's generally it. I mean, not too crazy. Gain more hit points. And,
Second page has other stuff on it, but
yeah. So anyone not familiar with our system, and it's most people who haven't been watching all the time, we have our 4 attributes that we put points into, and every level also you get more skill points.
Yeah.
You get 5 skill points, of which you can put 2 into any skill you want on this laundry list of things. So you can get really high points, or you could spend them to diversify. I've got like a plus 16 to my presence now, as I've focused many of my points into there, because that's what my character wants to be able to do, is talk to people.
Yeah, we've wanted to give you, the players, a option to, like, you could, instead of just a random group of stuff that you get all the time, this, that, and the other, we wanted to be more versatile and give you the option to go, hey, I want to specialize in this specific thing, and you can now, or you can have just a variety of stuff, and you'll start to see that once after Bill gets through explaining his character. Then we moved Molly, which is very different, and then then Torque's character, or not Torque's character, well, Belle playing Molly and Sandy playing Torque. So yeah, so go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more really needs to be said about them. I just, as far as the skills go, we kind of have this philosophy in Dave and my kind of design thing is we played in so many games where there's a player who wants to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets a little much, because then it means that certain players can't shine. They can't enjoy their like specialization, or they want to jump in and be like, oh, I'm going to do that with you. So here it's like, because you can get like a plus 16 to your presence or plus whatever, you would want to be probably more specialized in skills in order to be like, I am that person. Like, I'm going to do that. So some of the DCs that you can hit, I mean, there could be low ones depending on what you're doing, but you could also hit like ones that are like, you need a 30 or you need a whatever to hit this, because we are going to have these bonuses. So it should be like, if you're really good at it, you have a good chance of doing it. But if you're not good at it, you might need a miracle for this to happen, or it might not happen at all, sort of thing.
Good chance it might not happen at all. So or worse,
backfire.
Backfire. So, which strangely enough, we've had a lot of that happen. So, okay. Can you think of anything else to go over, Bill, right now? Before
I know it's quick, but I'm a warrior, so there's not a lot that I think really changes much from level to level with him. He's just plugging away. So unless any chat comes up with any thoughts or questions, or if maybe when someone else is leveling up, something comes up that I need to explain using Quinn, I think we're good. We can move on.
All right,
that's super quick. We'll be done in 5 minutes.
Let's get a little bit more complicated. Let's go with Bill's character.
Oh, yes. So I play Molly. I am a rebel, which is kind of like the roguish, kind of sneaky archetype. But the direction I went with it is that Molly is she's a doctor. She's an EMT. So she has a lot of stuff going into her mind stat. Right now, she has a plus 13 to medicine with advantage on medicine checks of all kinds, I believe. She's taken a couple specializations into guide with the EMT sub kind of class. So she's got that advantage to medicine checks. She's got like a triage ray that she can use to heal people. She's got a automatic, I think it's like a resuscitation device. I kind of want to ask about that once I run through this. And she just took on a subclass in academic for xenobiology studies, which means that she gets advantage on information regarding non-humanoid species. So basically, my girl's whole deal is A, medicine, and B, being able to find very specific biological weak points.
Now, before we continue with your character, those that have been watching this series immediately flag Molly as probably a crack fiend.
Crack is too light.
Yeah. But Molly has evolved. I mean, much like Quinn has evolved. I mean, Quinn was more like blinders on his eyes, and then now the blinders are being taken off. Molly is in permanent rehab.
I think what happened with Molly is that when we first met her, she had very little purpose in life.
Yeah, exactly.
She wasn't able to speak to her wife. She was just kind of living in a garage of a robot that she legally owns, but doesn't really she's given that sort of free will back to the robot. So she's just kind of like on her own. She was on her own, and she was kind of just rotting.
Exactly, which is awesome.
But as she's kind of grown and leveled up, she's got this purpose now within the group, even though the group sometimes sees her as kind of a fuck up. She's got this purpose now within the group, and she's reconnected with her wife.
Yep.
Moving on to like the purpose stuff, Molly got 2 powers in this last level up. So we decided to think about what she does best, and what she does best is adapt and be ridiculously lucky. So she's got 2 new powers, adaptability and just a little bit of luck.
And that's what's cool about our system, is the way we've got it designed and whatnot. Molly played just as well as all the other characters with powers. And there was no like power vacuum like some games you'll get, where if like characters get powers, then the other characters that are basically normies get left behind. Well,
not the literal left behind, but I am tired of everyone else flying off, and then Molly has to walk. Everyone can fly except Molly.
there is that little aspect, but still though.
But I've never felt like less than or left behind because they had powers. I mean, Molly is a weave touched, so she's always had like the little off-on ability that she could do, and she honestly got pretty creative with. But that's my girl.
I absolutely love watching the system evolve into what it is now, and how we have worked it out where those with powers can still play with those that don't have powers, and vice versa, so on and so forth, and the way we are doing it basically is we had everybody roll. We have a random table for every level you advance and stuff like that, and so you have a chance to get powers, and that's why Molly hasn't gained powers, because Belle kept on rolling.
Until now, I literally would be like 1 or 2 off. Yeah. And then last time, Dave was like, you know what? It's a holiday. Yeah. I'm bumping up the requirements by 1.
Yeah. So I went ahead and outright ruled that Molly should get powers now. And that is an option that we have for those that are running this game system. Is that basically you have 3 different methods of doing it. You can either do the whole dramatic, tragic backstory, whatever, origins, whatever, story, this, that, and the other, or start the players out with, y'all already have powers, y'all already are into it, so on and so forth. Or you could do what we're doing right now, is that they just come into their powers as we play in the game itself. So, and with the percentages and this, that, and the other. So it strangely has worked out in a good way, because our players have been very creative in like adapting their abilities when they come online and stuff like that. So anything else we can go off of Molly, or go over with Molly?
No, I mean, a bit of the reasoning why I took the xenobiology thing is because Molly's reconnected with her wife. Yeah. Yep. Who's sure. And her father-in-law is romantically interested in Quinn. I mean, I know that it's not canon, but I'm accepting it as so.
Okay. Yeah. And that's another thing, watchers, is that we started out one way with the storyline, and due to losing a player, we have basically steered it a totally different way. I mean, it's still kind of vaguely linked to the original idea, but don't be afraid to change it up when things get rough or things get odd. Other than that, I think, are we ready, Sandy, to talk about the big change?
Sure. I'm very, very, very. Yeah. I mean, okay.
Just how about we do this with Torque? Start Torque off with just telling what Torque was and how Torque became and what direction we decided to go, because I really love the way Torque has went from like being what Torque was to what Torque is now.
Right. So Torque, let me just give you her story. So Torque started off as a repair robot. She worked for a race team, and she was their mechanic. That is what she did. She fixed the race car. She kept it running. That is what she did. She lived in the shop all the time and fixed the race car. Well, that team was corrupt or corrupted. We're not quite sure of the whole story, and fell apart in a blazing thing of glory. There was big fireworks and booms, and the car exploded, the company exploded, everything exploded. This was all her backstory. You didn't see any of this. But, so, she was a little poor orphaned robot out on her own. And they went, nope, this company that you worked for, this family that you worked for, owed people money, owed people debts. So Torque was sold. And she was sold and sold and sold and sold. And Molly somehow won Torque in a bet. So this is how Molly and Torque became companions. So Molly won Torque, but Molly, if you watch the games, does not necessarily have her life together. So even though Torque is full of mismatched parts and what have you, she kind of went from fixing cars to fixing Molly. Basically tried to keep her out of trouble, keep her nose, because she was programmed to be a very good robot and, you know, follow the rules and all this kind of stuff. And so she was trying to keep Molly on the up and up. Well, Torque had to evolve. We got into racing for a little bit, but like as Dave mentioned, we lost a player, which kind of changed our... She was a mechanic with nothing to fix, except Molly. So, and then came Quinn. And for some reason, the way the story developed, Torque, okay, loves Quinn, but not in a romantic way. Like, she thinks Quinn is just the best boss Molly has ever had and is the best leader, and just, he can do no wrong. She just hero worships him. That's a better word. She loves him in a hero worship kind of way. So she is just, he's the boss. He's the guy we listen to. Whatever he says goes. Even if it might not be in her database that it's legal or whatever, if Quinn says it's okay, it's fine. So she has kind of switched her moral chip to being more, I do whatever Quinn says. Quinn is now my law.
Yikes.
We still keep Molly safe, but we do what Quinn thinks is best for the team. So not being able to fix anything, and she started hanging out with this group that started getting into fights and scuffles and breaking into things and doing that kind of stuff. So Torque got to keep her mechanic skills, as in part of her part of the character sheet, and part of her abilities is she is a guide, and a guide comes with a oh, it's in here somewhere. Basically, you get a car. Yes, I don't remember exactly what it's called. Signature transport. So I can have a signature transport. So we came up with, she has a mobile mechanic, like a Snap-on van. She has a big van where she has all her stuff. She also has a garage. So we kind of have that as a base if we need it. And she has all her tools, so she can drive. So she's the driver. She has, not the race car driver, but she has the getaway van and the get to things van and everything we need in the van, supply van. She's like a mobile backpack kind of thing. And again, getting into scuffles. So when we got a little bigger, I went warrior as well, like Quinn did, except Quinn is all, I shoot from a distance, and Torque is all, I'm going to mess you up because I'm a robot. So she's more face-to-face. So she took grapple, where she can hold people while Quinn shoots them or Molly shoots them, or she also has a robot dog that can tear people up as well. And then this level that we're just doing, I also took, and that's on page 2, let me look, I'm also going to take Street Fighter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So she'll be able to grapple, awesome. And then Street Fighter, she's not going to be able to be surprised at the beginning of combat. And I can use my perception skill as my initiative bonus rather than dexterity. And Torque has a very good perception skill.
Sweet. So
she might be a big clunky robot with not a big dexterity bonus, because her dexterity bonus, which is now physical, right? We've changed that, the wording of that. So
strength and dexterity become physical, basically.
Yeah, so her physical bonus is only +6, but her perception bonus is +11.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't messed with those numbers. I don't know if those go up or not this level. I'm not good at mechanics. Bill will have to walk me through what numbers go up. But that is what I picked. So she's going to be a little fighter girl. And so she's going to protect her hero with her life. She's like, I'm going to be Quinn's bodyguard, but he just doesn't know it. And I always watch Molly because she will die in an instant if I don't.
So what I love about Torque is that when Nathan came on board, aka our Vincent, our little paranormal, wear the tinfoil hat guy, he had very similar things to Torque, but as we played more and more, Vincent is his own thing now. Vincent is I guess you'd call it, if you wanted to compare it to like actual comic books, Vincent very much reminds me of DC's comic book character Constantine. Except maybe he doesn't smoke, but he eats weird crap. And I guess that would be, the substitution for smoking and whatnot.
And he has a very convoluted romantic background. Like, yes. What hasn't he been with? What hasn't he been emotionally connected to?
Exactly. And
I think he went to like third base with Quinn's food replicator.
Maybe. But yeah, the way we've got the system is that not only you get your character classes and whatnot, but you also get your species, which is your race or your lineage or however you want to call it, but we also have where you were born, basically. I forgot exactly the terminology we used. What was it, Bill?
What do we call that? Birthplace, actually. Just
birthplace.
Pretty simple, easy, straightforward.
Yeah. And so in the Spire and the Sprawl, basically, the actual setting of this system is Astroplex is basically 500 million people all have gathered together and living in this massive city of doom, basically. And basically in the center is this giant spire, multiple levels, and basically the upper crust society and whatnot, the highfalutin 1% and beyond, live at the very tippy top in their own little bubbles and domes and their own little private, sanctuaries. Then underneath that is a government, and then it trickles down to the very bottom. And as you get down to the base, you actually go underground. That's pretty much where we are right now. It's called the depths, and that was where basically, and the two opposite sides. It's funny how I didn't realize that until now. But Quinn basically comes almost at the tippy top, and Molly, right next to Quinn, comes at the very bottom. And stuff like that, and you see the two opposites and whatnot. But after that, the city itself sprawls out like a giant mega city of doom. And as you sprawl out, it basically starts out with industrial, warehouse, and then gets off into the actual, spaceships and launch pads and whatnot, and eventually it gets out so far out that there's a wall around the entire city, and that protects it from outside forces and whatnot, because the world itself isn't just the city. There's other like cities, so we made it where you can easily say, I don't want to play in Astroplex. Astroplex has already got all this stuff and this, that, and the other, and I don't want to have to remember any of that. Well, I'm going to pick another city and then create it from there and stuff like that. And that's where we've got it at right now. We probably, when we come up with the Kickstarter and stuff like that, we'll probably just vaguely mention stuff about the other cities and whatnot, but we won't get into detail like we've done with Astroplex. Because Astroplex is the main focus of this particular system and setting at this present moment. So, anything else? Anything else? Any questions from the watchers? If y'all have any for the game system or the characters themselves, please put that in chat, and we'll try to answer it as best as possible. Anything you want to go over, Bill?
Well, Sandy, I think, still needed help with numbers and places. So
yeah.
what?
Well, let's just go ahead and do that real quick.
What were we still needing to check?
Okay, so I have copied all the cool languagey story part, but does my hit points go up? Does armor go up?
Yes.
Does any of my physical forte, all that stuff go up?
So you are a guide to start with, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so you will gain
And where is
hit
this?
points. In your classes, the top of the class section, it'll say guide and it'll say hit points. That's how much you gain every level. So we do a max gain essentially. So you're going to gain 10 plus your fortitude modifier.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna go look that up. So hopefully this will start sticking in my brain.
No problem.
This is what happens, kids, when you rely on computer things to tell you these things for too long. That I'm not gonna mention.
Most of us do.
Not sponsored.
Yeah.
Classes is not what I wanted. Occupations? Maybe it's occupations.
Yeah, it's occupations. We've named it occupations. Yep.
Okay. Nope, that's not long enough.
No, it is. It's class. It's class.
Okay, never mind.
Occupation is also a separate entity too. So,
Yeah, it's like what you did before you really started becoming an adventurer.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Dave could can this be put up or broadcast yet or no?
Maybe.
Maybe you could just put guide up so they could see the top of guide where I'm looking at where I'm getting this information.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
You have to do a new screen capture on OBS just to of the or a
just so they know what
capture.
I'm looking at and
OneNote.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
and they know it's a work in progress, so
Yes.
this is not set in stone. Okay, guys, I see. Okay, so hit points, it says 10 plus your fortitude modifier, so that's every level.
Yes.
Okay. Write that down.
So since you're level 6, it should be 60 plus 6 times your fortitude modifier, really.
Which is my fortitude modifier is 6, so
Your plus is that
it's plus 6, yeah.
your plus 6 in fortitude?
Oh, nope, it's plus 1 in fortitude.
Plus 1. Okay, so you should be 66 hit points.
Okay. 66. And we have rested because we're in the hospital, so my current would be full, correct?
It should be. Yeah, I believe.
The doctors didn't put me back to full. That's just no fun.
Yep.
Now, does armor go up, or does it stay the same?
No, because you've got the armor you have is basically based on your equipment that you have, so that shouldn't change based on any of your class upgrades or anything that you got. That should be the same. Basically, the only things that will change, you will on the first page, your skills. You get 5 more points to put into your skills, into any skills you want, but you can only put up to 2 in any one skill per level.
You want to mention armor real quick, Bill?
Yeah, so the armors that we got, I was going to go take a quick look at them. So we have categories of armor, just like you do in like D&D or whatever. There's the light, medium, heavy, and then shields. Light armor has a couple of different like benefits or whatever, based on how much you spend on it. But they're going to give you a damage reduction of 1. So that means that every time you take a hit, you're automatically going to take 1 damage away. Medium, similar. The armor classes start higher, plus you have a damage reduction of 2. Heavy, that again, armor starts higher, so you'll have a higher number with that. and then your damage reduction will be 3. So the heavier armor you wear, obviously, the more sustainable you are. Then shields, there's different levels, and that's just straight armor benefits. Will give you some bonuses there. Some of like the heavy and some of the like the top level shields, you need at least like a +2 or a +3 in your physical stat in order to maneuver and utilize them. But the main thing different from like D&D or things like that is we added a damage reduction to our armor. I think we felt that like with kind of sci-fi sort of setting that we have, that it makes sense that there would be armors that reduce the incoming damage to you. And we're hoping to be able to throw around bigger numbers as we kind of dial that all in.
I am sorry, Watchers. Apparently OBS is being a butt cheese and won't let me capture OneNote.
Oh.
So you were saying every level you get the 5 points to your attributes?
Yes.
Okay, so let me add that too.
Yeah.
And I got it 2 for any.
Or not to your attributes, to your skills.
2 skills, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And up to 2 can be added to any skill that you want per out of those 5.
Wait, that's every level?
Every level. Yeah. So we're level 6, you should have a total of 30 points you can throw around. Plus you would have started with like proficiencies and things, which is basically an automatic +2 to anything that like your class gives you access to. Or
sounds get crunchy.
You may want to double check, make sure you have those. That's the hard part, is you will have to go back and look at, because you can get some from your occupation, you can get some from your birthplace,
right?
You can get some from
you get bonus
basic
pluses,
class. Like, I know where's my classes? Like guide, you would start with 3 skills of your choice, which means you'd have 3 skills with +2 to start with, and then you go into all the other things that you get. Like I just took my level gave me a +2 to my presence skill, so I got additional benefit to that there.
Well,
So,
I
yes.
think Torque is going to get some stealth when she's in the hospital. They're going to help her out with some of that.
They're gonna oil her up.
Oh, and yeah, lighter, like, because they're replacing some of
Like an
her
alloy.
parts, so it'll be more
You're
lighter
gonna
alloy.
match. You're gonna match all over. That'll be so nice. You're gonna get your, what is it? There are like videos online of like people putting jewelry in those like sonic cleaners, and then like, a bunch of junk comes off them. They're doing that to you.
So I think the next time we do a level up, I'll get better prepared as far as like showing you watchers some of this the rules and stuff like that. Right now, like I said, OBS sometimes likes to capture stuff and sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it doesn't recognize OneNote for some stupid reason or another. So we can't show you all that lovely stuff right now. I do have it set up in a different way. That's what basically the players are looking at right now, is that I basically copied all of that information and put it into PDFs. Right now, it'd be a pain in the butt to set all that up and let y'all see it. But next time, I will do that for y'all, and that way you get a sneak peek, or actually see, like Sandy said, actually see what we're talking about and stuff, or what the players are talking about as far as like what are they leveling up, or what does the character class look like, this, that, and the other. What does the power look like, so on and so forth. So because each of like the powers, for example, you have a baseline of what you can do, and then after that you have PowerPoint basically. And those PowerPoints determine on what ability you can use as far as like power-wise, as far as, from something very, very simple like moving a ball to making the ball expand and then explode 500 feet away. So, yeah. So So yeah. So and that the more PowerPoints you have, or the more PowerPoints you use, not so much you have, because we've built in the system where you can go over your PowerPoint base. Once you start doing that, luckily none of the party members has done that yet. I keep on wondering when they will, but when they do is when we get into another category that we have built into the system called corruption. And corruption, basically, the more you get into corruption, the more you become the bad guy, and not in a player character bad guy, versus an NPC bad guy. You more become, something that you can't play anymore. So that's where that plays into the factor of, because we've tried to make the system where you're the neutral guy, you're the good guy, you're gray area and stuff like that. Mind you, you can play bad guy games. It is going to be very difficult, but you can make it happen. So,
did you get your skills sorted out there?
Yes, I did. Now I'm looking at powers, because I gain a level we gain a level in powers as well, right?
So you're what, 3rd level power?
4th
level power.
So I get I got my powers really quick.
Yeah.
I get a universal modifier.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at which one will make sense with my guys. That one I understood.
As you do, do you want to answer this, Bill, or shall I? From Pentecost.
Where are we at? Can we play a bad guy and a good guy? I mean, that is all up to the DM. Like anything, I think there's a very fine line when you're playing as a bad guy amongst good guys. Is you have to have the proper motivation. You have to have a work with the DM to determine that. It's definitely okay. But basically the way we set it up is you could play a bad person and not be corrupted as well. So the idea of corruption is you get to a certain point and you just don't have control over your actions anymore. Like the arcane corruption that is out there that the players kind of tap into to fuel their power further eventually gets it to where almost like a severe drug addict, I guess, where you can't control how you're reacting to the events. So like we have it written in, like basically eventually you get to the point where someone's wounded on the ground and they're basically surrender. You won't take pity on them anymore. You'll just kill them off. And people will start to recognize that around you, and you'll gain infamy in the city. And eventually it'll get to the point where you walk into a bar and everyone goes, oh no, that's the bad guy that just kills people for fun, and makes it hard to interact. But you could play a non-corrupted bad guy far easier. I think we just kind of decided that you get to a certain level of corruption and you lose more and more agency as you get there, that it's not really a playable position.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea about it all.
And Bill brought up a very important thing that we also built in the system is fame and infamy. That plays into that corruption factor too. Is like you could have no corruption whatsoever and still have fame and infamy. Matter of fact, the party might be gaining some here soon.
Oh no! Wait, no. We might not be, because we did dress in those old uniforms. I mean, unless somebody said each other's name out loud in a public area. You know what? Never mind. We might be getting some attention.
Yeah. You want to do this one next, Bill?
Let's see. What do I transition from one to another? Oh, drug stereotypes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have a way to get out of corruption, because corruption is essentially it is a mechanic that we built in that if you're abusing the system, if you're drawing on power beyond your thing, you're very soul, your very cells, or however you want to explain it in your setting, gets tainted and changed. So eventually your brain changes with this arcane corruption, as we've kind of put it, to the point that you can't get out of that. You could pull back and be like, okay, I'm bad, but I'm going to fight some of these urges, so I'm not going to try to put myself in these situations. I'm going to do my best to not gain further corruption.
Yeah.
And it's also there's a save that you make to avoid corruption. So depending on how far you push your powers, you may be able to push it and still not feel any effects at all.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of that gambling, push your luck aspect in this too, where you could say, okay, I'm going to use 10 extra power points and drop way down and hope that your I think it's fortitude skill that we have, or mind skill fortitude. That we're using.
I can't remember exactly which one it is.
Holds off.
Yeah, almost.
We haven't come across it yet, so
yeah, almost like John Wick retirement. Yeah, I mean it gets nasty the more corruption you get. When you catch it early, there's a very good chance you can pull out of it, like Bill was saying, stuff like that. But once you get in there, because I think we've got it all the way up to 10 levels, I think.
Yeah, so there's a mind save, is how it works, and then if your corruption is, we should go 17 or more. Like once you hit 17, you become basic and NPCs, how we've determined you get to that point. But like, so just in the first few corruption levels, you're just selfish. You'd have to make a wisdom save to value your team or friends above your own needs and desires. So like if there's a choice that needs to be made where it's like, do I pocket this coin for myself or do I share it with the group? You might have to make a wisdom or mind check. Mind check. I didn't update these words. Yeah.
It's all right.
Or if it's like, I've got a healing potion and this character's on the ground, do I use it on them or do I save it in case I get hurt? Well, that healing kit, you may have to make that mind check to see if you can overcome that selfish need, that desire. And so that's the first 5 levels of corruption. So it takes a bit of time. So you could, play with it. But then you get to like 6 to 10, you're brutal. So it's harder to hold back. This is what we wrote. Harder to restrain yourself. You're more violent, more greedy. You tend to go further than is necessary. You use more force than is needed, and often resulting in the death of those you need to fight. This is kind of that point where like you don't take pity on the guy that's on the ground. You just go for it. At 11 to 15, there's a little left of your original self. And some of these have negatives. So like when you get to 6 to 10, now that selfish roll that you had to make, you get a -1 to. You have to make a power save when you cause an injury to an enemy. If you fail, you will kill the foe rather than attempt to restrain or knock them down. So it's like you have to make these saves, and if not, it just happens, because this is the way to like manifest that mechanically, that it's harder to force a player to role play that out. Like I think good role players will add some of these aspects into their play, but and it gets worse. The selfish role gets harder, and then like once you're brutal, that role, if you go to the next level, becomes harder to like hold back on whether you kill someone or not. And it just eventually will get to the point where you don't have control over yourself, and that's when, as a DM, you would basically say, okay, well, make a new character, give me your character sheet, because this guy's now an NPC bad guy that's running around the city, wanted by the police for slaughtering people and just going too far down this corruption level.
You want to talk about fame and infamy? Fame and infamy? How it affects? Yeah. So we decided that
we're both fans of the idea that you could be known for good things, you can be known for bad things. So we have the two sides of this coin, and you could essentially be on both tracks depending on what you do and your actions. So the basic is nobody knows you on either side. You're not good, you're not bad, just you are. You can gain a rank, the first level's known, in which case, like, specific groups of people will know who you are, and if you're famous, like, they will give you a bonus. That gives you a bonus to your presence and your insight checks amongst that group, and a bonus to your intimidation towards the opposing faction of that group. So yeah, and essentially the similar thing on infamy is that a specific group of people as a force of ill. So like, you're known as like one of the bad guys to a specific group of people. Not every cop's gonna know who you are, but let's say you gained it through some drug thing, the vice people will know who you are, or the opposing drug lord group will know who you are, and give you similar things. And it kind of builds on itself from there as you get further down. More people recognize you on either side of the board. And it kind of gets to the point where, like, if you're famous, people are going to be like, oh, wow, here's this guy. I want your autograph. I want to know who you are. You know, oh, you want a table at this restaurant? Come on in. To the other side where it's infamy, where you walk in, like, places and stores of like, oh, you know what? We're closing. I'm sorry. You know, or perhaps even like, here, just take this and don't hurt us, sort of thing.
Yeah, please. Don't kill us.
Along with like abilities to like get access to black market situations if you're infamous in certain areas, and but you also gain bounties from city authorities and you know, special interest groups, sort of thing. So yeah, kind of a way to make it both easier and harder on yourself depending on the situation. Again, fame could suck if you're trying to go incognito. The more famous you are, the harder it is to like go to a crowd and be like, no, I'm just a normal person here.
Yeah. I got the sunglasses on. Yes, that's it. I'm not really. Yes. But yeah. So we wanted those factors to play in because you're in a city of 500 million people, and everything you do, anything you possibly try to do has a consequence, and we've tried to build that into the system itself. So
yeah.
I have more number crunching questions.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I was waiting.
Perfect.
Does my bonus to hit go up since we went up a level?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Not at 6th level.
Okay. And then on powers,
Yeah.
power save, does that go up? Stays the same?
It should stay the same.
Just checking.
Yeah.
And
no,
was there
for sure.
anything else? Power surge. Not sure what that is. Like
Power surge is like your they're like advantages you can use.
Oh, okay.
It's like the
That's what that is,
inspiration
okay.
from D&D.
See, it's been a while. I'm like, what were those?
Yeah.
3 of them.
So we started off with like a very like, this is D&D 5e in our setting thing, and then we went further and further away. So we started with that basis, especially when D&D did the whole screw content creators who make their own third-party things, and we're gonna do all this stuff. We started building our own stuff. We just still like it, and we like where we've gone with it, so we've diverged further, so we're not
and we wanted, because right now so I think the big deciding factor when we started like separating ourselves from D&D is basically Coldwell Press had an opportunity to come out with their own game system and whatnot, and they pretty much copied 5e and came out with their own version that was basically almost, and the entire community just exploded in negativity and stuff like that, and it was just like, So maybe not. Let's make our system look like D&D, and so also we wanted our own signature too. We didn't want to be copycats. We didn't want to be, you know, oh, that's the system that's like D&D, so why not just play D&D? You know, so this is what you see right now, and it'll probably evolve even more as we, you know, continue and work out all the bugs and, you know, things that we're like, oops, messed up on that, you know, or oh, that's a really cool idea. Let's add that to the system, you know. So, but right now, I mean, as far as players wise, what do y'all think?
I think that it's really awesome how far it's come. Like in comparison to what it used to be. I think that it's improving, and like I'm just really excited to see what the end result is.
Yeah.
We want to see how strung out Molly will become. At level 20.
Molly is not, she is in recovery. There was a study. I'm looking at my psychology degree. There was a study done on rats where when they're in a low stimulation environment and they're given cocaine water, they will overindulge in the cocaine water.
But do y'all like the actual like options that y'all are given and the possibilities of seeing like what you can make with your characters and so on and so forth?
Nope. No, we hate it.
I mean,
Stop it.
I like how my class doesn't dictate what kind of character I have to play.
Exactly. That's what
It was actually very, very good to be, since all our situations changed, and then we added the similar character with Benson, very similar to me. It made it super easy to switch her to another path, which worked out just brilliantly. So I had really no idea where her story was going to go, and it was easy for the game to lead that.
Yeah, I mean, that's another cool thing. Like switching your role in the group isn't difficult. Like if you get in 5 sessions and you're like, oh my god, we don't have a tank. We don't have someone who can stay there and take hits and give hits. And someone could be like, oh, I can just take in warrior.
I could take warrior and take the shots for Quinn because he's squishy and yet not
Our
same
squishy
time.
warrior.
Well, he just doesn't want to get his suit wet, dirty.
Yeah, that's it.
That's more it. It's not that he can't take it. He just doesn't want to.
And like people smell and like he's not all about that.
There's
just
that.
ew.
Yeah. Heaven forbid.
Can't you just pay someone to get rid of that? Ew.
But yeah, so that's really why we did it the way we did it, and I'm hoping, you know, or we're hoping that other people will too, like it. So is there anything else we need to go over, or?
Yes. So
I also have a question.
we kind of touched on it, but if I wanted to up my armor, how would I do that? Because I'm in a place where it could be done. I'm in a hospital, they're upgrading me. How would that actually... I haven't heard anything about credits or money. I mean, we just assume Quinn is the bank of everything.
He's actually like kind of middle class. We're all just so poor that we're like, you're the money bags, right?
So the currency is called units.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so go ahead. You want to go
So
for
if
it?
I wanted to buy, I'm at level 1 with 1 slot, and it says medium armor level 1. So if I wanted to go up, how would I do that?
Yeah, so let's see. You are a guide, so you can obviously use medium armor. So you could get up to 15 plus your fortitude score for your armor in medium, which would, though, give you a disadvantage in stealth. It takes up 2 slots because it is bulkier.
And real quick, watchers, the way we did equipment and stuff like that, we did it in slots. Basically, instead of you just having this random list of stuff that you get, so on and so forth, as far as, lines and filling out spaces. And you basically have to figure out is it's based on your physical score, and it tells you how many slots you have, and certain items and whatnot that you get have slots. So you can't be the guy that I've got 100 AK-47s that I'm carrying around, and I also want to carry around a 500-pound safe. No, you can't do that in this game system, because
yeah, and I don't think we've ever looked at that. So would my slots have changed?
Yeah, let me double check. Your
I don't think we've ever messed with that since
physical score
level
is
1.
what?
My physical score is +6.
So then you would have.
I have written down 6 out of 7 slots, so I guess I originally had 7 slots.
Yeah. Your physical's a +6. How do you get a physical of +6?
I don't know. I have asked you, and you have told me to put in numbers. I don't know where we got.
You're not your saving throw, right? Your physical, that actual one in the first bubble next to PHY.
Yeah. Although my saving throw is also +6. My mind and my physical are +6.
Let's see.
And fortitude and social are both +1.
Okay. I mean, it could have just been where we're at on there. So I think because your guides, your physical saving throw should be a +6. I think your actual physical stat should be a +3. But I'm not sure. I'll have to take a closer look at that, how we got there. But your equipment is based on your physical score. So if you had a +6, you would have 10 slots of carrying capacity to utilize.
Okay.
So what is your spell?
E?
Yep.
Oh, my question. Okay. So, for the third thing of the EMT, which is under guide, it says that I get the automatic external defibrillator, which can bring one creature back to life if they've been dead for less than a minute.
Okay.
And then I gain one AED device and may purchase additional ones. Are these a one-time use thing, or is it like a once every week or a once every long rest kind of dealio?
It's a one-time use, like it goes off. So you would gain the ability to use this. Like other people can't do this, essentially. So
I gain like the technical knowledge to like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Long short of it, it's essentially like the Revivify spell in D&D, where you need a certain amount of diamond dust in there, and then you need to be able to cast it. Well, this is like you can use this AED to full effect, and you get access to purchasing it in like the medical field, world that not every Joe Schmo can get, and therefore you get it, and then you can spend 300 credits on additional ones. So you have one just for the level up. You passed your class. Here's one. Then
I was taking some night classes for AED certification.
Yeah. Like Sandy, if you wanted to get better armor, which we were on, and we kind of diverged from there. So let me get back to that really quick. If you wanted, you could either go a 14 plus your fortitude in medium armor. If you did that, you don't have a disadvantage on your stealth check. You would only use one slot, and that would cost us 400 credits. If you wanted to go 15 but have disadvantage, that's going to cost us 750 credits.
Oh, is it credits that we're using?
Units, whatever. Sorry.
Units, yeah.
Okay, so
use credits.
And I have no idea. We haven't been getting units, so I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. Y'all
It's okay.
Go. So
Yeah, Dave's not giving us the chance to scoop up extra. Quinn is holding on to a bit of his own, plus things that Molly has won in our initial betting that we did on a race. So there is money to be had if we decide that people want certain things. I have not looked at like, okay, what do I need to upgrade for me either? Because I could also do the same, like upping my armor to 14, like, and keeping, well, I don't care about my stealth, so I could up it to the 750, but we're dipping into Molly money at that point.
Yeah, see, I think I'm good with just going up without how to, so I would change my armor to 14?
14 plus your fortitude score, so yours is +1, so it'd be a 15 armor.
Armored would be...
Yeah, armored would be.
See,
that
my
one.
armored right now is 17.
I think because we were calculating off of, for some reason, we've been calculating off of physical, because my armor's off too.
Okay.
Now that I look at it.
Yeah, it should be.
But
fortitude. Right?
I think we switched it to fortitude at some
We did switch
point.
it to fortitude.
Okay, so we need to change our armor then.
Yeah.
All right, so is it going to go... Okay, so I have medium armor, so now we were at level 1, so I want to go to level 2?
Yeah,
Or...
I mean, we don't necessarily have names for them, but that's fine.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah.
So some of these are just there for the numbers, and we're like, we'll come up with cool names later.
No, so okay, but I would call it level 2, so that way I know I upped it.
Yeah.
It's still 1 slot, you said?
1 slot. We're going one that doesn't cause disadvantage, right?
Right, okay, and it costs 400 units, you said. I'm just writing it down so I know. Damage reduction of 2 points, is that still correct?
Still the same, yeah. It doesn't...
well, then it didn't up anything if it's still...
If you're wearing medium, your damage reduction stays the same. The difference was that your base armor would go up by 1.
Okay.
And that'll cost us 400 units.
Okay, so non-armored should be at what number?
That's your physical plus 10 plus your physical.
Non-armored is 10 plus your physical.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just like if Dave catches us, like,
So
lounging
physical
around
or
without
fortitude?
armor.
You said physical.
Physical for your non-armored.
Yeah.
And then armored would be what?
Fortitude. So yours would be 14 plus 1, so 15.
Okay, we got to change something because now I am tougher non-armored than armored. So something is off.
Yeah, but you don't have damage reduction when you're not armored. So that was the difference we had kind of set up, I think. So you could go without armor and you're harder to hit, but you don't reduce any of the damage you take.
Okay.
Dave and I are meeting tomorrow too, so we can discuss that as one of the
We can go over
things.
that. So how we can change that or whatever. But yeah, the idea is that if you take armor, is that you just don't have armor and it affects your AC, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. You know, it actually does something in the game. So basically, what we've come up with is instead of tracking points and all the other garbage, so on and so forth, certain armors have damage reduction. So from like 1 point, I think as much as like 4 points. So every time you get blasted by something or get hit by something, whatever damage that is, you take that damage reduction and reduce it. So like if I hit you for 10 points, you have an armor that reduces it by 3. Every time I hit you, you're only going to take 7 points of damage.
Okay. I also see the other thing is I have a shield that adds +3 as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that will bump that up.
I don't have
But I still get, that's nice to know because I have 2 points of reduction and have not been using it. So now I know to use that. Yeah. So that's good that we talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a shield. So I figure her shield is like built into her arm and it like comes out and goes when I need it, you know.
Oh, that's super cool. Or it's like kind of like almost like a vroom, like plasma.
Or like a circle, like do you ever watch Percy Jackson, the movie where they had the circle, like it folded down and it came out?
Yeah,
something like that.
I guess speaking of equipment, is there anything that Molly needed or wanted?
Yeah.
And Molly.
I
Just
know we talked
Molly.
about drugs, but
Well, I mean, like the drugs thing, I like being able to like talk with you in the moment and be like, okay, sealing
Yeah.
powder, like, that sort of stuff. I feel like that's been working out pretty well. Maybe Molly would just like. I mean, she got Quinn's hand-me-down gun, and that's working pretty well for her.
yeah.
Maybe a better or more interesting knife. Just or something that of that nature. Maybe some like boots that can make her jump a little farther. I don't think, or like a speed thing.
So we're talking about Arcanotech now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for watchers that don't know, our version of magical items are called Arcanotech, and Arcanotech basically is arcane built into basically wondrous, contraptions and items, whatnot. If Nathan was here, he is our Arcanotech guy, and he is basically cyborg plugged in, basically. Any of the Arcanotech, unlike powers, which powers eventually give you corruption, whatnot, basically Arcanotech basically hurts you at the very beginning. Because you have to activate these Arcanotech powers and whatnot. And so you risk a gamble, basically, and the gamble is like, I have 10 Arcanotech, and each Arcanotech power basically, or not power, but gadget, basically, roughly causes 1d4 points of damage, give or take, when you activate it. So if you have 10 of them, that's 10d4, and if you only have 25 hit points, you activate them all, there's a good chance you fry yourself and you die. So, but yeah, so yeah, Arcanotech. I haven't really been giving out Arcanotech stuff. I mean, y'all have like basically stumbled into them, and then recreated them, and
We could honestly stop the
but
game
yeah.
right now and just kind of live off of these copies that we can make of that one helmet.
Yeah,
It's going to become such common technology, it's not going to be interesting anymore.
But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna leave it up to the players when we begin the next game session. Do y'all want to skip the whole aftermath of healing and going through that and this, that, and the other, or do y'all want to role play that out? Because right now y'all are pretty much going to jump from one scenario to the next scenario if we skip that.
I'd be okay with skipping it if we talked now about what the heck this living wall is capable of, because I got it in a briefcase.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, we had to go to the hospital. We had to recover, or I did. I think Quinn did too, didn't you?
So
Quinn?
my question, well, here's my question to y'all: is y'all actually go to an actual hospital?
well, yeah, because
we did that at the end. We said
yeah.
that, and like Quinn told them,
Okay.
Quinn told
What
them
Oh,
do
that's
whatever
right.
they
Well,
need.
y'all didn't go to y'all went to a specialized place. Y'all
Something.
Didn't go to,
Yeah, we went to
yeah,
a something.
y'all didn't. Yeah, Quinn set that up.
Yeah, we went to one of my facilities, right?
Yeah,
One of my
yeah.
families.
Yeah, one of your
Facilities.
Families.
Yeah.
Not public.
We went
you
to
know,
private, yeah,
healthcare.
which is
So yeah.
why I get my glow up.
Yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
Torque. I was gonna say, I think Torque might have needed. I mean, Quinn was pretty good. I was like down 4 hit points, so Quinn was not bad off.
Torque was out. She was
But yeah.
Fried.
yeah, she was
Torque
right.
was feeling it. Yeah.
But the cool thing about being an automaton is I don't have to roll on the scars chart. They could just rebuild me.
That's true.
Fair enough. Yeah. Because if you get bad enough damage in our system, it could be lasting issues with your body.
Yeah, we totally took away the whole what's it called? My brain skipped. Death saving throws and this, that, and the other. So you basically have critical tables, basically.
You start taking wounds, and
You start taking
the wounds could be lasting, depending on how severe they are. Molly,
I love that because it's very, even Belle will tell you, it's very real life. Like, just because
Cinematic.
you get beat up in a fight and fall down and pass out, that does not mean you're dead.
Yeah.
Hate to say that. But
Yeah, true.
the ambulance comes and fix you and puts staples in your head, and then you have a scar, or
Yeah.
something like that.
You have a scar, or you smell toast.
Yeah. Or you wake up and you don't have an arm, whatever. I mean, there's medical shows all over TV. This happens.
Yep.
Simple weapons ranged. So Molly, what sort of you said something about a nicer knife that you wanted. So you're allowed simple weapons, either melee or ranged. So that means
Can I have a grappling knife?
it's up to Dave. We don't have a grappling knife like designed per se. What do you mean by
I want a
grappling knife?
Batman style, but it's also something that I kind of shoot at people.
Oh, yeah. I think generally I would say this probably falls into the Arcanotech purview. So it's up to Dave. We're level 6. We've gotten 0 Arcanotech items. So if you wanted to reward us with Arcanotech items, then maybe, and I'll leave that up to Dave, we are at a facility that they could possibly have some.
Absolutely.
And my company does owe us for this helm.
This
that we,
massive thing that we brought them.
that we should have gotten like millions of credits for, or units
Right.
for, you know.
We got a pat on the back. Good job, sport. There's a promotion in your future.
So I'm gonna say, because of the risk factor that y'all just experienced, it would totally make sense for y'all to ask for Arcanotech items at least, because y'all very much battled another powered character, and y'all have no earthly idea what third in command is going to do or whatever.
We skipped the second and we skipped up to second, and then we kind of went back down to third.
Yeah, and you don't know what first in command has gotten word yet. I mean, because y'all are right now in a facility. It's going to be 24 hours, I think, before y'all meet the other guy.
Near enough, yeah.
Yeah, so who knows what word has gotten out on the street, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, I would think he's for sure a little bit more wary. Now, however, this was set up before the combat, before the fights go, so who knows? Maybe he's not worried, maybe he is. But yeah. I think... So on the other hand, Dave, the question is that really the combats and everything we did for BDT. Now, again, like if we have 24 hours, we could have also said that we go back to him and tell him, hey, we got third, we're going back for second. Like, how many of these are we going for?
We got second, we're going back for third.
Going back for third.
Yeah.
And you would think BBT would give Quinn extra.
Oh, a little something, a little sugar on the side. Squeezes his butt a little bit. It's like...
So I'm going to say yes. I will allow each of y'all to take our Arcanotech item.
So there's a grappler's...
I can get something implanted.
section.
Yeah, long as it makes sense to what y'all are doing to your character, so on and so forth. So,
where are those tasty items? Scrolling.
And I think there's also probably something to be said that if there's something that's not on our current list of things, let us know. And, you know, we would definitely be working on things as well.
Yeah, for sure.
is a grappler weapon in there, grappler's weapon, where target a creature within 30 feet of them and force them to make a physical saving throw versus your power save, or be grappled by you. You may only grapple a creature that is no more than one size category larger than you. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, and maybe that could be part of that is pull yourself towards an item or something like Batman does.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this under? Drugs, medicine, and what's this under?
Under Arcanotech. It's right below the powered hero section on the
So it's.
OneNote.
I'm not in OneNote. I'm on the drive.
You're on.
Yeah, she can't be in OneNote, remember?
Oh.
I need to know where he put it on the drive.
Because the stupid
That's
OneNote-
Dave's world.
Dave, where am I going? Dave
Where
says,
are
I
you
don't know.
going?
Let me log in real quick.
Injuries, occupation, powers. Might be under powers?
No.
No.
Should not be.
I would think not, but you never know. Nope, it's not
You
under
never know
powers.
with Dave's brain.
Skills, proficiencies, and languages. Probably not.
Did I not?
I want a rocket-propelled explosive. I want it to be. I want the whole thing to be like 5 times heavier than Molly.
Equipment? Dave's like, it's not on there.
That's a possibility too.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let me try to figure out how to do this.
Yacht.
thing.
I want a Carnotech yacht.
You want an Arcanotech yacht.
What?
She wants an Arcanotech yacht. How much clearer
Oh.
can we get? Ooh,
Yes,
I want
yes,
a
yes.
heavy. I want a heavy chainsaw whip.
Wait. There's an Arcanotech modification
It's-
for cars in here
Yeah.
that you could make it invisible.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
Or you can convert it from a land, air. Well, mine already kind of does land and air. It flies.
so where are
A
you
small
at?
chainsaw is a simple melee weapon.
Yes.
So, yeah. So Arcanotech PDF is right before the character Astroplex character sheet and right
Okay.
after Nathan's notes.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yep.
I just didn't see it before. I guess I didn't go up hard enough.
Yep.
Sorry.
All right. It happens. So, I guess the question is, do we want to say goodnight to our lovely watchers?
I mean,
Yeah,
I think they're just going to be watching us shopping.
We're just,
Yeah.
and we know how exciting shopping episodes
Yeah.
are.
I think it would be a good time, and then because I think there might be people who decide they want something that's not on our list,
Yeah.
and it's either us designing it right now or us making notes that we have to design it tomorrow, and then so this could be part of it next or 2 weeks,
Yeah,
whenever we get
absolutely,
back
2
together
weeks. Yeah.
with Nathan. We can get him leveled up and go over whatever Arcanotech we gathered due to this.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. So with that, our lovely, lovely players, let us tell our wonderful watchers, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.
Night.
Not if this is stigmatism.
Bye.